Window Youth, écoutez-moi. Window Youth, Window Youth, regarde-moi.
Hello. Today, in the third podcast of Journeys of Care, we have with us Gina, who is the project manager of Velos Youth. Hello, Gina.
Hello.
I'm happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you have a lot of things and experiences to share with us. So, first of all, just describe us a bit your job and your experience working with the young people, and then we will enter in the deeper questions.
Yes. Okay, so at the moment I am the project manager here at Velos Youth for the last couple of years. I've been working with in the humanitarian sector for 10 years, and before that I was in the UK working with vulnerable youth as a housing supporting officer, and then a youth counselor, and before that an employability advisor. So I've been working with youth since 2007 on various positions, which brought me to the point I am today.
Great, a long way, a long way. Can you tell us what inspired you to work with young people? What brought you in this field?
I think youth work was my calling, but I hadn't realized. So when I was in the UK around the time that I told you, I was studying graphic design, something completely irrelevant, in a small town in the UK. And I started realizing all the social issues and social problems they had with youth. Everybody was blaming them for their bad behavior, the fact that they didn't respect anything. And I was mortified by the fact that they were blaming the young people, and society and the parents didn't take any responsibility for their behavior. So I wanted to have a look and see what was going on there. I felt that we have let those young people down, that we haven't taught them values, self-respect, and that we created a world for them that they didn't care about. And I think the same things are valid until today, or they're getting even worse. So, and I wanted to work with vulnerable youth, those young people who didn't have anyone to guide them. So kind of one thing led to the other. I didn't even know what youth work was. I started volunteering. I moved to Brighton, which was a really nice place, and gave me the opportunity to be able to volunteer and learn about the job. And then one thing led to the other, and then I became, I got my first paid position, and then the more in-depth work that I was doing, the more I realized that I wanted to support them even more, and that led me to my counseling course and training, because I realized that unless you help them find their self-worth and have a deeper belief in themselves, the work that we do as support workers can only change so much. I wanted to do a much more in-depth work with the young people and get them to believe in themselves. And that's kind of took it from there. Yeah.
Great, and a long story.
Yeah.
Now, if we try to think about the challenges that you've met during these years of working with young people, what would be the main challenges that you faced and you keep facing?
The main challenge is working with young people, I think, to be able to cope with the fact that those young people might not make the right choices, make the choices you advise them to make. You cannot save them. And we need to learn how to handle this. And among all the things that they will do wrong, their bad behavior, the fact that they will not come to appointments or they will not do what they promise they will do, not to never give up on them. I think this is something that it's very hard because, we are only human beings and sometimes we get annoyed and we get disappointed. But because those young people mostly get disappointment from the world, it's important that we do not show them that.
Okay, so the main challenge you say it's that it's difficult all the time to give them space and try not to disappoint them.
Not them to try not to show that you're disappointed in them or in any way, because it's when young people have been let down by their parents, society, especially when we're talking about refugee young people, that they are here alone and they have been through so many difficult things and have trust issues. To show them that you're disappointed, and of course, as I said, we're only humans, and it's okay to show them that that's not okay that they've done this. But just never give up on them, to believe in them in order to be able for them to believe in themselves. And I guess it's not a challenge so much for me anymore. It was a challenge at the beginning to accept, not take it as a personal failure whenever those young people didn't follow my guidance. Or didn't follow the action plan that we have done together. It was just the fact that they were not ready yet, and I was like, maybe I thought, in my mind, and also I have a savior syndrome as well, I wanted to save them and show them the right way, but they were not, they were not ready, and maybe that wasn't the right way for them, and they had to discover it themselves. So I think it's for us to manage our expectations, really, and to kind of to let go of things that we thought were right at the beginning.
Yeah, not easy.
Yeah,
not
I know.
easy. Now, if I'll ask you to share with us a moment or an experience from your work that has stayed with you, what would it be?
Yeah. There are many moments. Usually, the ones that stay with me are the bad ones because I criticize myself for them. Usually, it's when I let down of a young person. But I will not share a bad one. I will share a good one. One of my first ever young people that I started as a volunteer, and then I kind of worked with her throughout my job position in a center. I was working in Brighton. She had Asperger's syndrome, and also she was very depressed. And at the beginning, she couldn't even communicate to people. She was like, she would just sit on her own. She didn't have any friends. She didn't know how to express herself. And I think that the day we worked so much together, but for me, it wasn't really work. It was just spending time with her and getting to know each other and helping her get through life. And the day that she told me she had her first client on her dog walking business, that was really special.
Thank you for sharing this moment. About the lessons you've learned during these years, what are the lessons that you keep with you?
The lessons from the young people. One of the lessons I've learned, me personally, because it's as we say, it's a different journey for each one of us, is not to try to save people and hold back my own inner savior. To be able to give them the space and give them what they need in order to be able to find their own way, and just know that you're show them that you're just there for them, and allow them to make their own mistakes, to learn from them. And yeah, as I said before, just to manage my own expectations of myself and others, and just never give up on people.
Or keep this, never give up, never
Yep.
give up. So, how you manage, in order not to give up, how you manage your mental health and your well-being when you have to deal with all these difficult stories in many cases, a lot of anger, sadness. How do you manage it?
Well, to be honest, I'm never good at looking after myself. I'm mostly good at looking after other people. So I had therapy for many years, which kind of, and supervision, especially when I was working as a therapist. Having a good team that you can talk with them about this is very important. Being supported by a team. And also being in an environment where it's okay to say, I'm not okay, I need to take some time off, or I think that kind of an environment where I can be myself, an environment that I feel I'm looked after, and I can look after other people in my team. And I think that's it, really. And obviously therapy or supervision. Yeah.
And now, if you would like to send a message to other people that are young and they consider to do the same job and work with other young people, what would you like to tell them?
I'll tell them to go for it. That it's the most rewarding and fun job. Then you can do so many different things with it. That you will learn so much about yourself, and it's a very interesting job. And it's not actually a job; it's like a teacher. It's I don't know how you call it in English. Liturgima. So I would say to them to have an open mind and an open heart. Try to listen and learn from the others, and and go for it, because it's a great field. It's a great profession.
And the last one, if you had now in front of you the 20 years old Gina, give her an advice.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do this. You got this. And don't worry about failing. It's all about trying and learning from your mistakes. Believe in yourself, girl. Believe in yourself.
Thank you, Gina. It's again like saying don't give up.
Yeah.
In other words.
Well, it's the personal journey that led me here. So yeah.
Don't give up. Maybe this could be the title of this podcast. Thanks a lot, Gina.
Thank you for having me, Maria. Bye.